Thanks to the support as a channel member, John Howell. Well, folks, after yesterday's epic disappointment in the Champions League, today we win the Premier League. Hello, welcome to Club 4, part 43 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we face Manchester City in what is effectively a Premier League title decider. We'll also play one of Sheffield United or Aston Villa as well, depending on what we may need. But fingers crossed we get everything wrapped up here, because as you can see, we are 6 points clear with a better goal difference. Even a draw away against City is just about good enough. A win, and we win the title at Manchester City, which would be absolutely delicious. We've just played the one game since the Bayern Munich match, went back to our old stomping ground in Peterborough and put 5 goals past them. I feel a little bit bad about it, but at the same time, I'm sure they wouldn't begrudge me winning the Premier League. I don't think I relegated them. I hope I didn't relegate them. As you can see, Delgado is top scorer and best player in the Premier League on average rating, and now is finally back in the Dream 11. In fact, currently considered the second best player in the Premier League, second only to this guy called Dario, who is at Manchester City, a centre back at Manchester City. My word, my goodness me. How did we, I mean, would have loved to have seen him on the scout reports, to be fair. Although, actually, I say to be fair, they spent £69 million on him the same summer we bought Aranua, Moura and Fernandes for a combined 150 million. So he was on the market that same summer. And I can only assume our scouts didn't notice him. It seems unfair to have a 6'2" centre-back who's a proper centre-back, but also has 18 pace and 18 acceleration. I mean, luckily, Delgado's slightly quicker on the accelerator. That's ridiculous. He is a cheat code. Right. Regardless of that, let's go beat them anyway. We've got Hoy and Hal in goal, a back four of Aranua, Moura, Fernandes and Paviot, Navarro at the base of the midfield, Janacek and Tipple in the middle of midfield, and then Schultz behind Pedro Luis and Delgado. One other piece of news, actually, before we get into the match, because we have now qualified for the Champions League, we've got our budgets for next season. Spectacular budget. We can go and get the midfielder that we need to finish the puzzle. Whether that's Liam Shepherd or not, I'm not sure. But considering we've got £90 million of transfer debt at the club, it seems very generous to be given £70 million to spend. But I guess we are well within FFP. We are now a consistent Champions League club. We're almost breaking even season on season. I say almost. We're losing about £25-30 million a year. But this is mad. That is mad. This is mad. We're going to have a fun summer. Now let's go and beat Manchester City, win the Premier League, and start our fun summer right here. That feels like the kind of advert you used to get on the TV right at the start of the summer holidays as a kid. Summer starts here. Yeah, summer starts here. Or on the radio. I feel like I'm doing a Radio 1 one big weekend. Is that still a thing? Probably not. I don't think. Anyway, let's go and do a football, shall we? Manchester City, it's still a star-studded Manchester City team. I had been hoping for the last several years, we've been talking about how the Manchester City team was aging, and hopefully once they get too old, we'll start to dominate. The fact they've got Dario, I wonder how many other of these up-and-coming world superstars they've got knocking around the place that I'm just not noticing because their names I don't recognise. This is alarming what Manchester City are doing here. But if we can win the title 2 years in a row, aren't we great? For now, I probably shouldn't do that 2 minutes in, when if they beat us, we probably won't win it. Might live to regret that one. Aranua to Pedro Luis, and now Ua again, playing it into the path of Schultz. What a pass from Aranua, and Schultz is there for the finish. That is one of the greatest passes I have ever seen. That for a man who supposedly has no technical ability and is just all about the physicals, this is stupendous. The weight on that pass, it's I mean, it was like a snooker shot. It was perfectly weighted to fit between the defender and the goalkeeper. There was only one man who could possibly have got there, and he did, and he scored. And it's 1-0 to Norwich. It's 2-0 to Norwich. Mura showing me that we did make the right decision with our defenders nearly 2 years ago now. Who needs this Dario guy? We got 3 parts of a defence that are still together now. I mean, we effectively signed this entire back four that summer because Paviot came in on loan, I think at the same time as the other 3. I think this entire back four is now coming to the end of its second year together. Ball forward, Dario is there to intercept, and he, as the best player in the Premier League, I imagine he's going to try and do it all on his own now, as you would. Fernandez, Tamura, and now Navarro. What a dream start to this match. 2-0 up inside the first 6 minutes. Delgado now playing it out to Aaron. We're trying to make it 3 inside 10 minutes here. We're winning the league in front of your eyes right now, boys and girls. This has got to take a turn for this not to end up going our way today. Paviot on the right-hand side trying to cause some havoc now. Janusek plays it across. Pedro Luis is there, and we have made it 3-0 inside the first 10 minutes of this match. As a Peterborough United fan, recording this the morning after the night before when we got beaten by Manchester City in the FA Cup. This couldn't be any sweeter. I'm loving this. I can't even speak. Manchester City 0, Norwich 3. I'm baffled. And as it stands right now, we're Premier League champions because we'll be 9 points clear with 2 games to go. If they present us with the trophy on the pitch here at the Etihad, that makes it all the more fantastic because City have dominated English football for years, and they would have seen it as a blip that we won the Premier League last year. But for us to come back the following year and not only win it again, not only retain our title, but do it at their ground and get the trophy at their ground would be spectacular. But there is a long way to go. They're still Manchester City. Anything could happen. We are quite capable of conceding goals. We are quite capable of throwing matches away. Let's hope we don't do it now. Navarro with the cross. Pedro Luis is there again. They're all up for it. So where was this kind of form and this kind of spirit against Bayern Munich? If we can do this against Manchester City, we should be able to do this against any team in Europe. We've just got to believe that we can win the Champions League. And I think that's all that's separating us from Champions League glory. A little bit of belief that we can actually do it. Paviot to Navarro, and now Janusek, Delgado, Pedro Luis. We're coming forward in a sweeping wave again. Aranur on the left-hand side, cuts it back to Tipple. Tipple can't get his cross in, and City do come away with the ball. Although, to be fair, Tipple is still closing down, and City, as much as they're passing it around and keeping the ball nicely, they are actually struggling to get out of their own penalty area because of the closing down of our attacking players. Janusek now. And he's lost the ball to Bellingham. Ball over the top. Doku is in. And Hoyenhal, as ever, is equal to it. Hoyenhal is very much looking forward to his second successive medal. He'll take a lot of credit for this one because he single-handedly kept Pedro Luis at the club. What a man he is. And we end up defending the set piece again. And it's Hoyenhal from the goal kick. Fernandez to Mura. Mura gives the ball away. That is what I mean about us being quite capable of throwing this lead away. Luckily, Hoyenhal is, I say luckily, he's just incredible. There's no luck involved. He is Hoyenhal. Cross comes in and the header is cleared, but only as far as Doku, who with a couple of minutes left in this first half is looking to grab a goal back for City. There's Bellingham and there's Hoyenhal again. Oh, I love it when he has games like this. He's on a 7.6. He's making all the saves. Hoyenhal, he should be captain, really. Pedro Luis is still officially the captain, but we all know the true captain is Hoyenhal because he's the one who told Pedro Luis what to do when he was being a rascal. Navarro to Janusek. Now Schultz playing it forward to Pedro Luis. Delgado, has he managed to beat the offside trap? It was questionable and he's had to take it very wide, so it doesn't really matter anyway. And he plays it all the way back to Paviot, who's done quite well to keep it in, actually. And we're going to try and keep this attack going as we start again from the back with Mura. And now Janusek across to Aranur, who inexplicably has been left in loads of space again. He's going to beat his man, cross the ball. It's exactly what he does. Delgado had a free header inside the 6-yard box and this time couldn't get it on target. Schultz in-swinging corner. Tipple's there, and it goes wide almost in the exact same spot that the Delgado one did moments before. We are starting to get a few more chances now. There was a point in the first half where we had 3 goals from 4 shots, but we are now starting to threaten the Man City goal a little more as they're starting to have to... I mean, they've got to get back into the game. They've got to score 4 goals to have a chance of winning the Premier League. And even then, it's still only a chance. And they have one of them back through Jude Bellingham. And it's always a little bit upsetting to see one of my boys score against me. Bellingham, of course, a key part of rebuilding Barcelona right at the tail end of FM21. My players shouldn't ever come back to haunt me. It feels unfair. Right, we're going to make early-ish changes. We have got tiring players. Tipple is going to come off for Diaz. We're going to just do that for now. We want Diaz on there, running at them and scaring them, using his pace and his direct running to hopefully grab himself a goal and see this off and win us the league. But 25 minutes to go, it is starting to become all Manchester City, and they are getting lots of space, lots of possession. This is where a lesser manager would start to make tweaks, go more defensive, maybe drop an attacker back into the midfield or a midfielder back into defence. We know that's not the way. We know the way is to touch nothing, trust that we picked the right team to begin with, and that nothing can possibly go wrong. Zamorano, the former Manchester City man, is on for Navarro, and I'm looking at the bench thinking, how do we get Pavia off, who is also shattered? I think the easiest way is Noel can come on, and then Fernandez can go out to right back, and we'll do that. We get Noel on for the big moments once again, even though it didn't go well for him in that penalty shootout, did it? Schultz is in. Oh, I thought that was going to be the moment where everything is sealed. It's not, but we do have a corner from it. Still 3-1 to us, and we're the team that are attacking. I think we're going to get a short corner here. We are. Schultz. I mean, just keep hold of the ball. Can you keep it there for 18 minutes? Apparently not. Schultz is tiring. There's nothing we can do about that now. We've got a lot of tired players on the pitch, but we are also in a situation where we've used all of our substitutes, and Bellingham is in again with a header. I'm going to drop some praise. So I'm always wary of praising when we've conceded more recently than we've scored. I hope it doesn't backfire, but it seems like the sensible thing to say. I don't want to be like yelling at them. We're 3-1 up away against Manchester City. We are playing very well. I just want them to feel good about it so that they don't let them back into the game. They're in here. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, and it's wide. Oh, that's a big moment. That was a massive chance, and I was convinced it was 3-2 to really pile the pressure on, but it's not. It remains 3-1. Just a couple of minutes left. Surely, at this point, they are tying the yellow and green bows to the trophy. They put bows on the trophy, probably ribbons. Probably don't describe them as bows. They're doing something more manly. It's strips of manly cloth that they're putting onto the trophy so that we can feel like manly men. And, oh, goodness me. It's every time I think we're going to get in, they get the ball back and I panic a little bit. I'd just like the final whistle or a goal. A goal would be even better. And we've won the Premier League. Delgado is in, a 41st goal of the season for him, confirming he was worth every penny of the £80 million that we spent on him. With 2 minutes left in the match, it is Manchester City 1, Norwich City 4. This is Manchester City, who are probably going to win the Champions League in the next couple of weeks, but it doesn't matter because we've won the Premier League right now and we're getting the trophy. Look, the City fans have stayed. I mean, I assume they're just giving us a lovely round of applause and saying, well done, Norwich. What a jolly good effort, 2 seasons in a row. We're very pleased for you. I'm there just arms behind my back. Don't know why I'm not wearing my pink suit. I usually wear a pink suit, but the trophy is up. Pedro Luis lifts the Premier League trophy for the 2nd season in a row. And the only thing left to do now is find out who's going to do us a cartwheel, because we love a cartwheel. Who's it going to be? Number 12. Who's number 12? I don't know who number 12 is. Erenua, maybe? We're going to need to look at the squad listing. It is always the most important thing. Who's doing the cartwheel? Number 12 is Janusek. There we go. See, ever since we stopped looking at dots, I don't learn the squad numbers as much anymore. Right. We have won the Premier League. I am going to have to show you one more match because otherwise it's a bit of a spoiler because of the episode length. So we're going to do one more match. I think we'll probably just do the last day of the season. So I'll play Sheffield United off camera and then we'll do Aston Villa right at the end of the episode. So I can also show you like top scorer and stuff like that, which Delgado should have wrapped up by now. He's still level with Makoko at Manchester United. Delgado needs goals in these last few matches for us to... I mean, that would be quite the achievement if we managed to get the Premier League Golden Boot 2 years in a row with 2 different players. That's a real sign that we are a super team now, surely. Well, we put the reserves out against Sheffield United, and as usual, when we put the reserves out, Casolari got a hat-trick. This man, in any other era of this football club, would go down as one of the greatest players ever. The amount of goals he scores per start, 9 from 9 this season, 10 from 15 last season, 5 from 0, 6 from 8, 6 from 5. He's a more prolific goal scorer than Alvarez was, and Alvarez is a club legend. Been here 5 years as well now, but just really handy to have around. Not going to play today, of course, despite his hat-trick, because today is all about getting Sergio Delgado Premier League top scorer. He's currently level with Makoko going into the final day. Manchester United are down in 9th place. I don't know. Have they already sacked their manager this season? They probably have, haven't they? Yeah. They might sack him as well, to be honest. I'm not going to go to Manchester United. I wouldn't go to another Premier League team at this point. But interesting to see Southampton and West Ham fighting it out for the other Champions League spot. There is definitely a changing look to this Premier League table. And hopefully Delgado can grab himself Golden Boot. Talking of Casolari, average rating wise, he's the second best player in the Premier League. He's on a 7.6 this year. There's an emerging argument that he should be in the team ahead of Pedro Luis based on this season. I mean, Pedro Luis is obviously a better player in every respect. But if we actually look at the statistics of the season, Pedro Luis has played more than twice as many games. Casolari's got nearly as many goals. You have to balance that with the fact Pedro Luis plays against the top teams in Europe. Casolari tends to play against the likes of Sheffield United, which is why he's going to bag more goals. 5 Man of the Match awards from his, 10 starts, 20 starts? 4 Man of the Matches for Pedro Luis. He's got a better goals per 90 minutes. I mean, he's better on all the stats. We're obviously not going to make that decision now or probably ever. But the team for the final day of the season, Hoy and Hal in goal, a back four of Aranua, Caesar, Fernandez and Paviot, Navarro at the base of the midfield, Shepherd and Tipple ahead of him, Schultz behind Pedro Luis and Delgado. We need to make a decision about Lewis Shepherd because he obviously goes back to Manchester City this summer. The release fee, the optional future fee we had on there is 91 million, which we're obviously not going to do. But they have agreed to this deal previously, where we basically pay them £20 million to loan him for 1 more year, then have to pay 40 million next summer. So even that it's 60, or there you go, overall price when deal becomes permanent, £55 million. He's not worth 55 million, is he? Other than the fact he's English. And I think that's what we're going to have to do this summer. See if there's a better English option, because in terms of our Champions League squad, we do need him as homegrown in England. Although, to balance that, Padron and Romero both become homegrown in England this summer. Obviously, neither of them are regular first teamers and probably were available in the Champions League this year, but as non-registered players because they were under 21 or whatever the rule is. So it would be, if we rely on them and don't replace Shepherd, we'd be working with 1 less player for a Champions League run for next season. So I think we probably do need a new homegrown midfield player. But with Griffin Diaz getting closer and closer to forcing his way into this starting 11, anyone coming in to play in that midfield spot, they're going to have to be absolutely world class and homegrown to force Tipple or Janusek or Diaz or whoever it might be out of the team, or they're going to be young and up and come in and in the same boat as Padron and Romero. It's a difficult one. Shepherd might just be the easiest option because he's the guy who's already here. He fits in the team. I think he's started half of our Premier League games this season. So with all the rotation that we do, he plays lots of football. It's useful that he can play central midfield and attacking midfield. He doesn't let us down. He's not spectacular. He doesn't let us down. He's certainly not a £55 million player by my looking at the real world standards. There's one for Delgado. Hopefully Mokoko's not scoring today. But at the same time, if Fernandez and Aranur and Moore, if all these were £50 million players, maybe Shepherd is a £50 million player. Although to balance that, all of those went on to become regular nailed-on starters for us. Whereas Shepherd, at 24 already, is very unlikely to ever be a week in, week out starter for us. So we'll have a proper shop in tomorrow's transfer special. We'll do some proper shopping. We'll see if there's a better option. We've got £70 million to spend. If we can't find a better homegrown option, then we go with Shepherd purely because he's homegrown and we need that in the squad. Otherwise, we'll see what we can find. Has Pedro Luis been fouled there? I think he has. This is going to be another opportunity for Delgado. We need to keep an eye on the Manchester United game to make sure Mokoko's not scoring too many goals for them or any goals for them. But at the moment, I think things are looking pretty good for Delgado. The referee's going over to have a look at the little telly and should be awarding us a penalty here. Otherwise, I want the match to continue from the point where Pedro Luis was supposedly not fouled. Of course, it's a penalty. And Delgado, I think, is our penalty taker these days. If not, 42 goals without being a penalty taker is remarkable. But no, it is Delgado who's going to step up to take for what I think will be number 43 for the season if he tucks it away. And he does. And are we going to get confirmation? There you go. Goal number 43 of the season. We've got the best striker in the world playing for us, and it's awesome. We don't need to see the penalty replay. Right, Manchester United. Moukoko has 1 for them. Moukoko has 2 for them. They were level on goals before the match. They are level on goals again now. Delgado needs to score again, and Moukoko needs to pack this nonsense in. Pedro Luis to Shepherd, who shoots from range, and there you go. That's Lewis Shepherd trying to justify £55 million, a 7th goal of the season for him. Really is making the argument that he's a useful guy to have around. If only he was just a smidgen cheaper. Dave's just let himself into my office. Hello, Dave. How you doing? How on earth did you do that? That door was closed. How very strange. I think Anna's out there shouting as well. I'm trying to record a video in here. Goodness me. Now he's wagging. I am recording a video. Can I help you? Goodness me. Well, that's dealt with the invaders. Hopefully that hasn't distracted Delgado too much from his goal scoring target today. Diaz is going to come on for Tipple in midfield, and we're going to bring on Zamorano again. And I think we bring on, assistant manager says Garza. Casolari got a hat-trick in his last game. We're going to bring on Casolari alongside Delgado for these last 20 minutes of the season because Casolari deserves the game time. Garza has got a bit of a problem because Casolari is so good ahead of him. I'm struggling to find a way to get Garza the game time that he needs for his development. I think we probably need to send him out on loan next season. The problem with doing that, of course, is we then need to bring someone in to replace him as a 4th striker in the squad because we can't really go into a season with only 3 strikers available. Shepherd we've got to spend the money on him, haven't we? This is like the Janusek thing from, was it last season all over again when I doubted Janusek for a moment and he went nuts and started scoring all the goals? I'm questioning whether Lewis Shepherd is a £55 million footballer and he's scored 2 absolute wonder goals in this episode. 4-1 now to us. It's still 2 goals for Moukoko for Manchester United. So to be absolutely sure of the golden boot, Delgado still needs another. He was showing us first place, even though they were level on goals anyway. So we might have a similar situation to what happened with Pedro Luis last year, where he was level on goals, but I think had played fewer minutes or fewer games. I'm not quite sure which one it was, but he basically got the award standalone for himself even though he was level on goals with the person who finished second. So we might get that situation with Delgado, as long as Moukoko doesn't score again for Manchester United. Right, it ends 5-1. We already know we've won the league. Now let's just double check. Do we have the Premier League Golden Boot for the second season in a row? Certainly, I would imagine Delgado has more overall goals when you factor in his Champions League goals as well. Just give Shepherd his little pat on the head. We're probably going to be signing him permanently tomorrow after that performance. Medals, lovely, lovely medals. Right, Premier League. I think that means Delgado's Golden Boot. He's got 27 from 30. Moukoko has 27 from 37. Yeah, he's done it in far fewer games. Your Premier League Golden Boot is Sergio Delgado. Money well spent. Talking of money well spent, I've got my biggest transfer budget of the entire series coming up tomorrow. This can't go badly. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.